welcome to the Wealthy LaLa Show with myself, Laurie Laursen. Today is episode 218-2. Yeah. So, today's a mini reading day. I like it. These are fun doing these on Wednesdays. Well, they're Wednesdays when I do them, I post them. So we're going to do 3 cards. Today's the Mystical Wisdom card deck by Gaye Guthrie. Gaye, G-A-Y-E, Guthrie. Okay, so we're going to pick 3 cards. Ooh, that one. Okay, and that one. All right. So we got 3 cards picked. So we get the left one, middle, right. And that could be one way of where you're going to get the reading for you through just the position of them, or as per usual, it could be all of the cards, or it could be something that I share with the cards. So we'll see. All right. So for me, the left card right now is the one that is popping the most. So, and the card is Originality. Blaze your own trail. Okay, let's see here. You are a go-getter and a free spirit by nature. You exhibit originality, courage, and defiance. You were born to succeed and breathe excitement, love, and life into the lives of others. Despite your chaotic ways and gregarious nature, you are loving and generous. That's so funny. I gotta say honestly, you guys, I would not have thought that about me before, but I could actually see where that's actually true for me now. I really have blazed my own trail and blazed originality for sure. There's a mantra here. It says, love me without fear, trust me without wondering, love me without restriction, love me without demands. I am worth it. Wow. Whew. Whew. That made me feel a bit dizzy. I'm going to read that again. Love me without fear, trust me without wondering, love me without restrictions, and love me without demands. I am worth it. Wow. Just imagine me speaking that to myself. Was that the card that popped for you? Okay, let's see what the middle one says. Self-reliance. Wow, this is kind of a neat theme. Oh, what a gorgeous card. Self-reliance. Don't be afraid to fly solo. Oh man, I tell you, this is something I sure didn't want to do before. Okay. You have the courage and fortitude to lovingly assert yourself and your point of view. By doing so, you gain respect and support from your friends, family, and colleagues. It takes boldness and integrity to stand up for yourself and be counted, especially when no one else is supporting you. Trust yourself and value your own opinions and judgment. Flying solo is a challenge, and that takes courage and confidence. This is your road to freedom. Become lion-hearted and know that your best protection is your own spine. And there's a mantra that's here. If it is to be, it's up to me. Whew. This is like seriously giving me chills. Okay, maybe it's not just the left card for me. Okay, so we're gonna read the third one. Dragon, discover your courage. Okay, if you guys are listening today, these are big ass cards. Okay, this is really letting us know that there is a lot of energy up for us choosing for ourselves, blazing our own trails. Don't be afraid to fly solo and discover your courage. Holy, okay. Let's see where this last one is here. The dragon represents courage, strength, and fortitude. The dragon is victorious in any situation and serves as a powerful guide and guardian in all endeavors. Victory comes in emotional triumph and healing of old wounds, or completion of a project. A surprise is looming for you that you will create one of the most wonderful moments of your life. This is a message of glorious accomplishments that will set the standards for years to come. Congratulations. So the mantra is my desire is coming to fruition. Whew. Wow. I wish you guys could see these cards. They are just like, they are seriously fantastic. I just, yeah, wow. It is incredible what they are saying. I'm gonna actually take a picture of them because they are so stunning. Yeah. Holy. Okay. So if you guys, wow, I'm really getting, I don't know if you could actually really separate any of these cards. Yeah, I just don't really get that you can in this reading. So if you've come on and are listening to the show, I'm really getting these cards are for all of us that are listening. You know, is it time to blaze your own trail? Self-reliance, don't be afraid to fly solo. And dragon, discover your courage. So all of them had the element of courage in it. And oh wow, I just, and this middle card is just incredible with this woman, and she's got the like an explosion of color and fireworks almost like behind her. Oh, I'm a little bit at a loss for words. Well, one thing I will say to you guys is, you remember I talked on yesterday's show how I was going to look at what was stopping me from movement and like not wanting to. And it was interesting because I don't know if you guys have heard of Marie Forleo, Forleo. Well, she just released a new book called Everything is Figure Outable. I've been following her. You can get, oh, excuse me, you can get her emails, and she'll do a little video interview in them about, I think it's about once a week. So she's done them with like Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and a lot of other, people. And I happened to click on one of her emails today, and she was talking about movement in the body, and that when you move your body, it opens creative channels. So one of the awarenesses that I got throughout this day with regards to not moving my body is I got in the habit of shutting down my creativity, because my creativity was a sense of aliveness in my world, and therefore it would be judged. And that wasn't something, for whatever reason, wherever it started, I wasn't willing to choose. So, an illness is a great way to choose that. Just not choosing to move is a great way to choose that. And so, um, if I choose movement, I'm going to be opening creative channels. And I realized that there was an energy that I need to change in my world to be able to receive that. So nothing changes in your life unless the energy of something changes. So I was aware of, like, quote unquote, what we call the problem is. So, afraid of or fearful of becoming creative, being, of judgment of what that might create in my future. The other thing that actually came up for me, and I'm not sure if I've ever talked about this on my show before. I'll just tell you a little briefly. When I was 17, I was in a fairly bad car accident. I was driving. I'd pulled up to a stop sign, obviously crossed the highway, didn't see a vehicle coming, and the vehicle didn't see us pull out into the highway because I had a girlfriend with me, and the car T-boned my girlfriend and I. And I ended up coming out with like a broken collarbone. I had a concussion, and and then bumps and bruises and stuff like that. And my girlfriend ended up with brain damage. And so to this day, 30 something, like many years later, she's still been taken care of either by healthcare facilities or her parents. Her parents actually kept her at home and looked after her and had like, home care and helpers come in. And when I was doing a meditation the other morning, the accident popped into my head again. And interesting that I realized that like I've done work on this before. So I have done some EFT, I've done some other things with it. But I realized that there was another layer of guilt that I was still holding on to. Yeah. And so I started changing that. And what's beautiful is with Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations, and just from the stuff that I've learned from him, I now actually know that I have ways that I can take care of it. And so what I did in my meditations is I, created elevated emotions in my heart, gratitude and stuff like that. And then I took the forgiveness of myself, the guilt, and I took it that expanded out into like the quantum field, so the void, into the source, into the divine, where God resides and all of that. And knowing that God, source, divine, the quantum, the field, the void, knows what I'm asking for when I present this to it. And it was really neat because I ended up getting some words of like free, being free of it and having a sense of gratitude for being free, to be free to live the rest of my life without having that sense of guilt or wrongness or requiring, and giving myself the gift of forgiveness. So, and I realized that without that, it was also a stopping point with me choosing to move my body. So it's really interesting. Like as a person chooses to do this inner work, you'll find that things are not always linear. They often aren't. It's not like an ABC always to get to what is impacting you or what will change what's going on in your world, that you wouldn't think that an guilt from a situation that would stop me from moving physically. And what a great way to not move physically, but to create a dis-ease in my body that doesn't allow me to actually even have a great life. Like my life would be good, but never really great, so I could never have something greater than I deserved that I could or should for what I had deemed myself guilty of. So there's way, way, way more to that, the awarenesses that I got. But I loved that, because even when I was telling you guys about it and I was like, okay, I'm going to meditate about it. I'm going to do, and or do EFT and or do the EMDR, so the tapping or the eye movement. And it was interesting how email contributed to me, and how other things that showed up for me in the last day or two, and just having the awareness of it in my meditation, because I hadn't thought about the accident for probably, maybe a year or two, and that it popped up again. So anyways, and I also actually went and Googled it, and I was able to find an article that was posted in our local Edmonton Sun, so the city that's the closest to me. And it was kind of like a 30 years later article, and it was written, I think it was about 4 years ago. Anyways, I read the article and I found that there were still things that kind of like, I could feel in my gut. And I thought, okay, I thought I was done. And the other thing that I've really noticed too is that with choosing all these meditations, my awareness is so much bigger and so much greater now, that what I couldn't perceive before is available to me now. So that level of holding things that could be an unkindness to me, that could be stopping me from having a kinder, sweeter, more beautiful life, are showing up. I'm able to pick them out and be able to take care of them now. Sometimes that intensity of awareness is pretty intense, And I won't leave myself now with it. I can stay present with it, and I've got tools, and I'll meditate on it, or do one of the other tools I've suggested, and then allow myself to move forward with it. So, in getting these cards, the originality, blaze your own trail, self-reliance, don't be afraid to fly solo, dragon, discover your courage, after what I've been aware of and what I'm asking for with the forgiveness and the freedom, the free, and the gratitude to move beyond the guilt and the suffering and the blame and the shame that I still had going on in my world. That this is really, these cards to me are really letting me know that it's time to you know that it's time to move forward. And I even had imagined myself sitting with my friend and letting her know that I was going to forgive myself now. And I could see her just smiling at me and letting it be okay. So letting me know it's okay. So anyways, on that note, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And if you ever, feel inspired in your own world and you want to look into your own inner world, please do it. There's a sense of freedom, and it can sometimes be really hard and really challenging. And it is so much greater and so beautiful on the other side of it. So, anyways, big hugs to you guys. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful, wonderful